Anyone over the age of 50 that hears my voice will know this story from grade school, or as I refer to it, your indoctrination center when you was growing up as a kid. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. It was something like that. Then they told us that people tried to discourage him because they thought he'd fall off the flat earth. Well, according to this here, it's a misconception. And Columbus had difficulty obtaining a plan because the earth was flat. Can be traced back to a 17th century campaign of Protestants against Catholicism. Protestants were against Catholicism? I thought that was the Protestant Reformation. But what we don't want to talk about here on the Wikipedia, I guess, would be the Counter-Reformation. I'll go into that a little bit more later. But in order to understand where we're at, we all have to have a full grasp of our history. So I got to bring everyone up to speed on our known, concise, agreed upon history. Facts first. Then we can get on to your speculation, ball earth nonsense. Anyhow, on that I digress. We'll go back later. It says here in the highlighted part, in fact, the knowledge of the earth is spherical was widespread. We all remember hearing that when we was in school, right? I think I was taught that something along the lines that the church fathers, that wouldn't have been the Protestants, that would have been these Catholicism people, were persecuting people that were using science to prove that the earth was a ball. And they locked up, who was it? Tycho Brahe or one of these fellas, in the 1600s or whatnot, put him on house arrest because he was trying to show people that the earth was round and not flat. Again, that goes back to the Counter-Reformation. See, we got to know what the Protestants and the Catholics were fighting about in the late 1500s through the 1800s. A long period. Anyhow, we'll get into it later. But Wikipedia wants us to know that we all knew that. And we knew that from the ancient Greeks. Ancient. These people are old, man. Ancient. We don't talk about the new modern Greeks. They're always the ancient Greeks. When we go back in here, we'll see they measured the diameter of Earth with good precision in the 2nd century BC by the means of calculating the diameter using an astrolabe? Huh? Well, that's Flat Earth tool right there. What are you talking about? Oh, weird. Very strange. We'll get into it. Where Columbus differed. Let's see, right here. Most scholars accepted Ptolemy's correct assumption. What? Astrolabe? That's not an astrolabe. What is that? I'm sure you ball earthers will let me know. Anyhow, Mr. Ptolemy is, from what time period was Mr. Ptolemy? This ancient Greek that knew that the earth was round, was telling everybody about what? 100 to 170 AD. All you kiddies out there don't know AD means after death, after Jesus died. Okay? We're talking old or ancient people will be BC. And that's where the history diverges a little, folks. Cosmolabe? Yeah, that's something different. Anyhow, we know astrolabes are flat earth tools. You can see many videos on YouTube discussing that factoid. That apparently they don't want us to comprehend, right? So he used his own astrolabe that he created, right, after death, okay? So let's go back before him and his new astrolabe in our modern era. And let's see what kind of astrolabes we had way back when. Ancient days. Look at this. The earliest discovered historical record known as the Saros is by the Chaldean Babylonian astronomers. Last several centuries BC. Now we're getting ancient. See, these are flat earthers, people, and they don't want you to correlate the two. They actually try to pretend they don't know if they were flat earthers if you just go by what Wikipedia said. It's hilarious. So anyway, there's old Edmund Halley, right? 1686. He's the one that they named the Halley's Comet after, but in reality, he didn't discover it. Look at this noteworthy fact. Look, Saros cycle for the prediction of eclipses. Written between 150 and 100 BC. So this was written 150 to 100 BC, talking about this Antikythera mechanism predicting the Saros cycles or eclipses. Flat Earth tools predicting eclipses. Wrap your mind around this, folks. Wake up from the lies. See, you ball earthers don't want to acknowledge any of this truth. You want to sweep it under the rug, act like it didn't exist. Babylonian tablet recording Halley's Comet. See? Babylonian astronomy study of recording celestial objects. It gets deeper, folks. Look at this. I've digressed. Let me digress a little bit. Look at this old Babylonian tablet of stone that they cuneiform, and they deciphered it in the 1600s. Okay? And that's how Halley knew it would come back around in the 1600s, because they'd already deciphered how to read these. So they knew, and he gave them the name Saros for all the dates of eclipses that they had written on these tablets. They finally deciphered their tablets. So they knew what these so-called ancient wise men from the Bible, that's who the ancient Chaldean astronomers were, folks. The Assyrian eclipse is very, very informative. The biblical scholar David Wiseman has speculated, see, as if to throw some doubt on it, that the eclipse took place around when Jonah arrived in Nineveh and urged the people to repent. Otherwise, the city would be destroyed. Neo-Babylonian astronomy refers to the astronomy developed by the Chaldean astronomers during the Neo-Babylonian Empire in Mesopotamian history. A significant increase in the quality and frequency of Babylonian observations appeared during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Allow me to reiterate this again. Neo-Babylonian astronomy refers to the astronomy developed by the Chaldean astronomers in Mesopotamian history. A significant increase in the quality and frequency of Babylonian observations appeared during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, or King Nebuchadnezzar from the Bible, if you recall. And look at the time frame. This is around the same time, right after the Assyrian eclipse, that Jonah went to make the Ninevites repent. This is the truth of why they repented. It was the eclipse. Okay? And after that, these ancient wise men of the Bible that went to see baby Jesus later, they seemed stupid in front of their own king, apparently. So they started looking for these things. Systematic records, ominous phenomena in Babylonian astronomical diaries that began at that time. They began at that time. Allowed the discovery of the repeating 18-year Saros cycle. Okay? That's the cycle that governs the solar eclipses and the lunar eclipses. Okay? The Greco-Roman astronomer Ptolemy, there's that genius again, the ancient guy that they want to claim. knows stuff. He later used this guy's reign to fix the beginning of an error. Right? That era began in this date, since he felt that the earliest usable observations began at this time. They didn't have any older records, folks. So it started just like the Assyrian eclipse page predicted, as I've stated. And more importantly, as Jesus told us, would be the only sign given to a wicked and adulterous generation that seeketh after a sign from heaven. The only sign given will be the solar eclipse. That's it. Matthew 16, verse 4. Wake up before you burn up, folks. Time's getting short.
This is the reckoning. 2024. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. The City Club, he already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Because Shannon Sharp got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built.
So
all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo! Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. Where did he come from? And then he gets up there and for 3 minutes he's talking about the fact that he is the entire black community.
Right.
And he is as disappointed in them. It looked like they looking for where the rest of them is. And so is he. And that was his set. But I understood from that point that the truth is really the commodity.
You know things. You know things.
That's always where I'm trying to come from, whether it's comedic or otherwise. That's why even if you see me get arrested 10 times in a row on TV, as a fan of mine, you can be like, he finna be right out. Yeah, but they just said he didn't do it. He couldn't have. It's stupid. Why would he do something stupid knowing he got to come back and talk to us? Nah, they respect that every time it happens, I'm going to be free as a bird sitting out here talking to you about it. That it really was what I said it was. That's all. Right. When you're good at something, you should progress. The guys that are not as good, they should fall down by the wayside. That's natural.
So you believe if your talent doesn't support it, you should fall by the wayside, and the guys that have the talent and they get elevated, they should move.
No, that's what water says. That's what the universe say. The universe say the levels. No, I don't. Not I say. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I'm working every day as if I think that's what
Should happen.
is how it should be. And I'm choosing comedians that also write and work hard and don't steal other people's material. And I'm making sure that they all make $300,000 a season. And I'm making sure that they're not ever signed to me or my conglomerate. And that's why they're successful. No, you can work with me and still be an independent businessman, boss owner like you came in.
Right.
I don't need you to be subservient to me. That's those other guys that make you pay dues.